Welcome to Crown Brush. I'm Dawn Maloney, celebrity makeup artist and hairstylist. Today's video is about brush care. Makeup artists, congratulations on having a brand new brush set. I can't say enough about how special it is to have amazing tools to work with. They come with so many blessings, and you are going to be able to use your creativity and imagination to produce beautiful makeup artistry. Makeup artists, you'll be learning all of the proper techniques and interesting ways to use your makeup brushes throughout this video series. Of course, when you have a beautiful brush set like a Crown brush set, you want to be responsible and take care of your brushes in the best way possible. So today's video is all about brush care and how to take care of your brushes so you have them for many, many years to come, and you will create a beautiful, successful career. I like to use a brush mat. This is a mat that allows you to scrub your brushes. You can see this has a lot of abrasive texture. So when you're moving your brushes with the soap and water, it will actually help lift and remove all of the makeup out of your brushes. So one of the nice features about this scrub pad is that on the back side it has suction cups. So you could put this into your sink that has a flat surface and press down, and it will hold the brush mat in place. So as you're moving your brushes against it, it doesn't shift around the sink. So what I like to do is I place the mat at the bottom of the sink. I turn on my hot water. And as you can see, these brushes are really, really dirty. And you want to first rinse your brushes a little bit, get some water on the brush. Notice how I'm not getting the whole handle wet, just the brush area. Try to avoid getting a lot of water into your brush. You really want to kind of hold your brushes at an angle where the water is moving downward. We never want the water to seep up into the brush because that will cause mildew and mold and also break up the glue and the binding that holds the brushes in the brush. Then what I like to do is I'll take any type of liquid hand soap. You could use shampoo, you could use facial cleanser, any type of soap, and I just pump it right onto the brush and then onto the pad. We could shut the water off at this time, and then just swirl and just try to remove as much of the product as possible. This came out really nice and clean. I'm loving that result. Now this brush is full of foundation and concealer, so this may take a little bit more to remove all of the product. So I'm moving it back and forth on that abrasive texture, and you can see that the makeup is coming off. It's starting to break down in the soap and water. And you could turn the water on, rinse that, give it a little rinse, clean off your scrubbing pad. And then last but not least, this is also a foundation brush, so this has a lot of product in it. My first brush had a lot of pink blush in it, and that came out really beautiful, super clean. So again, you just want to give it a few seconds, really scrub, probably about 30 seconds, and just remove all of that product. Go back and forth with that hot soapy water. And then finally you want to rinse, and again, you're rinsing with the brush down. I like to use my hands and actually feel the brush to make sure that I'm removing all of the soap. If it's too hot for your hands, just adjust it. Get it as hot, get the water as hot as possible, as hot as you can stand it. Of course, you don't want to burn yourself either. Another great technique is to put your brushes, just soak it for a few seconds in hot boiling water. That will really sanitize your brushes as well. Pull all the product out, but you only want to leave those brushes in for a couple seconds because you don't want your brush hair to break down within the brush handle. We don't want to break down the glue. So the less water that actually gets into the brush handle, the better. So notice how I'm holding it at an angle when I'm cleaning it, when I'm rinsing, when I'm just getting started and adding some water to the brush. So these feel really clean. They feel to me extremely rinsed, and I'm really happy with the result. So you just want to shake it out a little, squeeze the brush hair, kind of reform the best that you can. And then I'll take some paper towel and just kind of absorb as much of the water out of the brush as possible. The mat as well, you want to take that out of the sink, pat it dry, and then also let it air dry. After you clean your brushes, make sure that you clean your sink. I like to use some type of bleach scrub to clean my sink after I clean my brushes, because the sink will be full of makeup residue and soap scum. So I want to leave my space cleaner than the way I found it, and I'm very mindful that I clean the area after I use it. Always allow your brushes to dry flat, and you don't want to smush them all together like this, because the air won't be able to get around the brush to dry it properly. You never want to dry your brushes in some type of cup or container where the brush is standing up, because the water will seep down into the brush handle and break up the glue and whatever is holding the brush together. Okay, so you never want to have your brushes standing up wet, because what happens is the water seeps down. So you need your brushes to dry flat on a paper towel overnight with a lot of space between the brushes so they can dry properly. So you want to lay down your brushes with enough space in between so the air can dry the brush. You don't want to put them too close together, because then they just won't dry properly. And just like your brushes, you want your brush scrub pad to air dry as well. Another great idea is to use this brush drying rack. I just absolutely love this. You're basically hanging your brushes upside down, so all of the water will fall downward. It will evaporate downward. So none of the water is actually going up into the brush handle. You never want water seeping into your brush handle, because that will break up the glue that is holding the bristles into the brush. So another great way to clean your brushes is to use 99% alcohol. I love this technique because the alcohol evaporates very quickly. So makeup artists, if you're in a rush and you need your brushes to be cleaned right away, this is a really great technique instead of washing your brushes, because water takes longer to evaporate, where alcohol, 99% alcohol, evaporates very quickly, almost on contact. So what I do is I take my alcohol, and I'm very careful with this because this is a caustic liquid. So I just pour a little bit onto the paper towel, and then I take my brush, which is full of makeup, and I clean the brush like so. So I'm basically just rubbing the brush onto the pad with the alcohol, and as you can see, the makeup is being removed. Now, of course, washing your brushes with soap and water is the best way to clean your brushes, but this will sanitize and prepare your brush to be used on the next person. Spray brush cleaners are a must to have in your makeup kit. Perhaps your Crown School kit contains the Pro Makeup Brush Cleaner. So you're going to take your used makeup brush and then spray the brush. You really want to saturate very well. And you're going to leave this for 5 to 10 seconds. Then you take your brush and wipe on a paper towel. And you can see that the makeup is coming out of the brush. It may take a few minutes for all of the makeup to completely leave the brush. Again, the best way to clean your brushes is with hot soapy water. That will remove all of the makeup in the brush. Occasionally, when working with dark colors like red and black, or any cosmetic that has high pigments, your brushes can stain. But if you wash them with hot soapy water, chances are that you will remove the makeup stain out of the brush. So once your brushes have been washed and they've been air drying for quite some time, perhaps a few hours, one of the things that you need to do is check to make sure that the brushes are dry. So you're just going to take your fingers, clean fingers, and just make sure the brushes are dry before you start to work. Wet brushes make it almost impossible to create beautiful makeup artistry. So you have to check and make sure that your brushes are completely dry before you start working. If you work with wet brushes, your makeup will be streaky, discolored, and also very uncomfortable for the person that's having their makeup done. It just feels a little icky. So double check and make sure that your brushes are completely dry before you start your makeup artistry. So now that you know how to take proper care of your brushes will take care of you. Remember, the products, the tools, and the techniques that you learn makeup artists create a beautiful career in makeup artistry. This concludes today's video on brush care. I hope all the tips, tricks, and advice help your makeup career soar. See you on the next video.